Hey everyone, welcome to another Tivoli Hi-Fi YouTube video where we're always delivering sound excellence. Today we're going to be walking through a new range from AURALiC called the S1 series, which is a streaming transport, a DAC on the far side there, a streaming DAC, and a power supply. Before we sort of get into that, I'm going to remind everyone to like, comment and subscribe and hit the notification bell so anytime a new video drops you'll see that come up. So before we get into the nuts and bolts of what these devices actually do, I'm going to walk you through the control method. So AURALiC have their own app which they've developed from the ground up called Lightning DS. Lightning DS not only covers the setup of the units themselves, but also your control, so how you switch inputs, how you do your streaming music. So Lightning DS will give you access natively in app to Tidal, Qobuz, KKBox, tune-in radio for internet radio as well. Those are your things you'll have to have an account for. For other sort of streaming services, you've got AirPlay 2 built in for Apple Music, you've got Spotify Connect, you've got Tidal Connect, and I think that's about it. You can only control these through iOS-based devices. So Lightning DS is only available through iOS. And before I hear every Android user on the planet groan, there is a way to get around this. So the units themselves, you can, for setup, you can directly type in the IP into your web browser to then start setting up the units. You can also use, for Android devices, you can use Lin's app, which is LINN, which is a very famous Scottish company that we also carry. Their app will actually control AURALiC devices. So that'll get around that. The first product that we have in front of me right here is the ARIES S1. So this is a streaming transport, so no digital to analog converter built in. This is the ideal product for someone who has basically got a digital to analog converter that they love the sound of, but they want to add streaming or get a better streaming result than what they're already getting. All these units feature AURALIC's new, well not new, but their Tesla G3 streaming platform, which is the most powerful processor that they've developed and actually has down trickled from their higher series, which is the G2.2 series. With this device, you would take either a USB connection, a coaxial, an optical connection into an existing DAC. The very cool part about this, which is a new feature on actually any AURALiC device, is this now has a suite of digital inputs. So you can actually take sound from a CD transport or any other, like PC via USB or something like that, laptop, and have this resample the digital signal coming in and then spit that out to the digital to analog converter that you have. So you can actually select sampling rates that your DAC will have, and it'll resample that digital signal coming into that sampling rate that you've locked in. Very, very cool device and sounds amazing. Within the setup of these, you can actually also change, and this goes for the ARIES as well as the VEGA that we'll get to in a little bit. You have a function where you can actually have a full parametric EQ within the app, and you've also got the ability to do a speaker placement within the app. It's a very cool thing. That pretty much covers off that guy. Very, very cool sounding product and a great addition to AURALIC's range. With both this and the VEGA, they are Ethernet only. So no Wi-Fi capability to sit them on your network wirelessly. One would have to have a hardwire Ethernet cable from here or from the VEGA running back to your router or network switch. With anything network related or internet related, we want to make sure for you to get the best result that you're using a good quality router, a good quality network switch, which will make sure you get the best possible performance out of any streaming product. This goes not only for AURALiC, but any streaming device that you have on your network. We come across to, on the far side here, the VEGA S1. So VEGA S1 will give you obviously streaming built in. It will give you the ability to have digital connections via USB, coax, AES and optical, and then either a left and a right RCA output or XLR output to your integrated amplifier or preamp. It actually has a proper analog volume and an analog output stage built in, meaning you can actually go directly from that device to a set of power amplifiers with no loss. You'll get a proper analog volume, not a digital based volume which you find in some products. digital volumes can often compress at lower volumes, meaning you don't get as full and an open sound. The VEGA uses their Fusion DAC, which basically combines, and the AURALiC boffins have developed this, is there basically gives you the best combination of delta sigma based DACs and then ladder based DACs. So it's a combination of the two that they've developed in-house for a really amazing sort of sound. To get the optimum sound, if you want, you can use this running via USB or coaxial into the VEGA. You can turn the VEGA's streaming capability off and put it in what's known as a pure DAC mode. The pure DAC mode switches off the streaming side built into the VEGA, so it uses purely this guy here. It then routes all the processing power of that G3, the Tesla G3 chip, into just the DAC side of things. It will give you, again, sort of like using a CD transport and separate DAC rather than using integrated player. It can often give you a much better performance, better separation, better sound stage. All those sorts of lovely things will come up. The last thing I'll touch on with the VEGA S1 is the tone mode. Within the VEGA, you've got a set of digital filters, which will give you a different sort of sound characteristic between each filter. No right or wrong, it's just what you feel sounds best to you. What they've added with the tone mode is two sort of tone adjustments, which is a clear mode and a smooth mode, or a warm mode, which will just, again, tonally change the characteristic of the output. No right or wrong, just purely a preference thing as to what you find best in your system. The last thing I'll touch on is the new pure power supply for the S1 series. So this can be used with either the ARIES or the VEGA. If you had an ARIES and a VEGA, you would use two of these if you wanted the upgraded power supply for each one. Basically, a jumper cable runs from the back of this to either unit or the unit you want to use. The power disconnects from the main unit and goes to there, so that is supplying the power to that. Basically, it's completely isolated from either of the units and will give you a lower noise floor, so you'll find better microdynamics, a more open and engaging sound. A really worthwhile upgrade. It's something we can demonstrate to you in the store if you want to come in and have a listen to the difference between the two. That about wraps this up. As I say, if you have any comments or questions, please drop them in and we'll get them answered for you. And we look forward to seeing you in the shop. We look forward to you seeing our next video. Thanks.